and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'll be covering few questions about web development so that you guys get an idea of what is web development and what do web developers actually do. If this seems really interesting to you, so keep on watching. So in this presentation slide, I'll be covering these few questions related to web development, which are: what does it mean by web development? What are the types of web developers are there? What is the difference between front-end, back-end, and full-stack developers? And what are the languages front-end and back-end developers use to maintain, build, and create websites? And I really do hope that at the end of this video, you guys get an light understanding about each of these terms. So let's get started. So the first question that we have here is, what does it mean by web development? Web development refers to the task associated with developing websites for hosting via internet. The web development process includes web design, web content development, client-side / server-side scripting, and network security configuration, among other tasks. Or in other words, web development is a coding or programming that enables websites functionally per the owner's request. So the second question that we have here is, what do web developers do? A web developer's job is to create and maintain websites. In short, they build and maintain websites. Their primary job is to ensure that the website is visually appealing to viewers and is also easy to navigate with. Many web developers are also responsible for the website's capacity and flow. Now that we have learned what is the meaning of web development and what do web developers really do, so the third question we have here is, types of web developers, or what are the types of web developers? If we talk about the coding industry, there are many kinds of developers out there, from making applications to gaming into realities. However, if we talk about web developers, there are three major kinds of web developers: front-end web developers, back-end web developers, and full-stack web developers. Now, what is the difference between all of these? So let's start with the front-end developer. So the front-end developer is responsible for the stuff you see on the websites in your browser, including the user interface elements like the navigation bar or the form you fill out and submit it to, etc. and etc. The point to be noted here is that front-end developers use their relevant frameworks by the help of the coding languages, to ensure that the content is effectively presented and that users have an excellent experience. And the second one on the list here is back-end developer. Now, what does a back-end developer do? The back-end stuff refers to the guts of the application, which live on the server. In short, back-end developers are the professionals who build and maintain the mechanisms that operate data and perform actions on websites. Unlike front-end developers who control everything you can see on a website, back-end developers are involved in data storage, security, and other server-side functions that apparently you cannot see. This process can become very complicated when a website has millions of users. Now that we have learned what is the difference between front and back-end developer, let's learn about what are the languages that we need to learn or need to know about if we want, or need to be familiar with if we want to become a front-end or a back-end developer. If you want to become a you will need to learn coding languages like HTML, which is hypertext markup language, CSS, which is cascading style sheets, JavaScript, and other languages as well. These are the top 3 languages that you really need to learn if you want to create a website, and you need to be familiar with these 3 languages so that you'll be comfortable while making the website. So, and back-end developer use languages like Java, Python, PHP, and Ruby to work with data. So if you want to become a back-end developer, you will need to learn programming languages like Java and Python, SQL, and Ruby to work with the data. Now the last one on our list is full-stack developer. Full-stack developers are those who are comfortable working with both the front and back end. Also, he and she can also develop or build both client and server software. Now that you have learned what is the difference between front and back end full-stack developer, mean by web development, and what are the types out there and languages should I need to learn if I want to become a front-end developer or back-end developer or full-stack developer. But if you're a beginner, it is recommended that you just need to learn JavaScript, CSS, and HTML to get it started. And HTML, CSS are pretty easy to learn, but if you learn JavaScript, it is a little hard as compared to these two languages because it works with logic. I hope that you really understand all these terms now, and I hope that we would be able to learn all this stuff related to web development and other tech funny coding things about web development together. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I'm sure that I clear some of your doubts. If you do so, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.